Ethan Art Venture. So when I saw that, the way you blended realities was dope. Y'all know I love me, the metaverse. I love being in the metaverse. You take anything from real life and juxtapose it with animation or avatars. I am there for it. The way you did it though, starting with the drone shot into the apartment, and then to see this beautiful black little boy with the big eyes, looks just like your boy by the way, with the high top, and he's an artist, my kid is an artist. I fell in love with this. Can you give us some background about Ethan Art? I know the background, but tell them the background about Ethan Art and the journey to where it is today.
Hello everyone, good evening. So, the inspiration behind Ethan Art Venture was inspired by my son, who is also named Ethan. He inspired me because he started to draw, and I saw how one can believe in something and how it was so effortlessly that he was able to do things and achieve his artistry. I was amazed and inspired. And not only that, but as a film director, we are always concerned about the message that we have to put out. And the message that I had to put out was what I want to say to my son, and that is to be confident, to be aware, and be mindful. And that is the message of this film. The message of the film is to teach kids mindfulness, confidence, and self-awareness through this character, through this young autistic illustrator who learns a lifelong lesson in believing in himself.
It's not often that we have black representation in animation, black pens behind the screens. I know because my kid is also an animator. So this is very important to be seen, just like Toledo, just like having our sci-fi piece here with All Fair Facts. Sitting next to you is Joe Young, who did the Smokey Robinson piece through his studio. I really want the two of you guys, when we leave here, to connect. There's something about what Joe's doing in his movement with black animators and getting them into the right hands, and the powerhouse that you have with you. You guys need each other. So if you take nothing away from today, this connection is where it has to happen. So I'm gonna leave that there, and I'm gonna allow the audience to ask their questions or have their comments. Any questions or comments about Ethan Art Venture?
I have a question. I'm so curious about like the animation space. So like, how long did it take, like, to do that, to like get the drawings and animate it and the voiceovers? Like, I'm just curious about the process of animation versus live action.
Wow, the process. Okay, so this was my first time actually tackling animation. My first project was a narrative. It was filmed. It actually took me 4 years. 4 years to get to completion to what you saw, 12 minutes.
Wow.
And it was based off of finance. At the time when
Because it's so expensive to animate, right?
Very expensive.
Like $300 a minute or some crazy.
Not even.
Like
I was
that.
hearing like 2,000 a minute at the time. And I actually had a longer script where you were able to get more information about the character and his the protagonist and the antagonist and the development of their relationship. But when I learned about the financial part, it was extreme. I paid almost like $30,000 to complete this, so that's why it took so long. So in 2018 is when I did the voiceovers.
Okay.
I had the script, the voiceover, the storyboard, but I think the trying part was to find an animation team that was able to produce the visual that I wanted, the quality, and that was the issue. But I did find one. Thank God, I found it was Zozarus Studios, and they're actually overseas, and that was the cheapest I could get, to be honest. But I felt since I knew how to produce a film to completion, I was able to complete something I never did before. I felt like the animator is your DP. They're the ones who are going to convey they put the E in the emotion for the characters. They are the DP, they are the actors in a sense. They are very essential element when it comes to animation. So I learned a lot about it, and I learned that it's nothing but revisions and revisions, and you will pay for everything, every mistake. So you have to be sure about the choices you make, and this goes back to the cartoon. The message of the cartoon is to really teach kids that they have the power to create the narrative in life. I don't see this just as a short film. I see it as a TV series where that each and every episode can uncover different lifelong lessons for kids to learn. And I think the echo of the message is mindfulness, awareness, and self-confidence. And with those three tools, how powerful can that be?
Yeah.
Dope.
I believe we had a question or comment. There you go.
Hi. Wow. First of all, that is just so amazing. I have a good friend who has an autistic son, and I can see how this would have incredible value for organizations like Autism Speaks, and the message that it could treat, the message it has for kids who have autism, who need to see representation of themselves in the media as capable human beings.
Yes.
What my question was, which you kind of answered, is I want to know when the next episode is. Is this going to get episodic? Because I want to know what happens with him in the pencil.
Exactly. Yes. That's how I left it open. Actually, the full length, you would have been able to understand what happened with the pencil. But I did what you did. I did exactly what you did. I made you guys want to see more. I want you to see more, want to know more, want to invest in this as a TV series the way I believe in it. And I hope you guys do as well.
Period.
Thank you.
Any other questions or statements?
I have a question. The teacher, who was the inspiration? Where did he come from? Because he's an amazing character.
Well, the teacher is the character. He's actually an artist. His name is Bensley Hyde. He's from a old school group, a Jamaican group called Innocent Crew. And I met him through actually a schoolmate that I used to go to school with. To be honest, the cartoon, it takes place in a setting where I grew up in East Flatbush in Brooklyn. So it's from that community, and in that community is Caribbean infused. So I grew up with Caribbean teachers in a community where even if you wasn't from the islands, you understood it. Everything around it. Not even the Asian community was embedded into our community. So I used everything that I knew and learned that I understood from there, and I want to represent where I come from, and I wanted kids, not just where I come from, to understand that they have the power to create the narrative, and based off of the choices that they make, if they're mindful about these things, they can understand how powerful they can be. So I would love to share that with the world, my community. I mean, had I known that from when I was young, I probably wouldn't even be here. I'd probably be hired somewhere else right now, but hey, that's what it is.
No, we need you here. So. No, we need you here.
Any more statements or questions? Art?
New Kirkham 18, East 18.
If not, we will move along to Joe Young.
I just want to say one thing. I appreciate your film, very educational. Yes. Everyone's film up here, I appreciated it. Yes.
So we're talking about now Black American with Smokey Robinson.